Today I wanted to tell a story of how I learned to stop being so hard on myself. All throughout the day, I'd been feeling like shit. This was a couple weeks ago. And the reason I had felt like shit is, it was for a very funny reason. I had been thinking of this one girl. And the thing with this one girl is I liked her a lot. I thought she really liked me. We had been out a couple times. And I'd eventually come to the realization that while she never said anything, I came to the realization that she wasn't into me, which was fine. I was never rude to her or anything. The problem was my brain knew what to do. My heart was telling me something different, unfortunately, like a lot of guys go through. So all throughout this day, I had this girl running through my mind and I couldn't focus on anything. And anytime I wasn't doing one thing, I was focusing or thinking, not focusing, but like thinking about her, you know? Like I remember like even talking about like how I pushed other girls away because I wanted to talk to this one girl. And it was starting to make me feel bad. So I remember I actually had this coworker who I'm really great friends with her and her boyfriend. They're a little bit older than me, so I call them like in a joking way, like mom and dad, you know, because they are incredibly nice. You know, they helped give me rides like before I had a car even, right? And so one day we all go out, and I'm not gonna use his actual name, but let's just call him Eddie. Eddie is my coworker's boyfriend who I'm super close to. So I'm talking to Eddie, and I told him the whole thing. And I wanted to be careful because he knew this girl as well. I told him I needed some older wisdom. And it was very difficult because of the fact that this was the first time I was really opening up like this. And I told him about how I couldn't get this girl out of my head. It felt like it was the end of the world. You know, I was a little bit dramatic with it, but like I couldn't get her out of my head. I wanted to move on. I pushed other girls away to just see her. And I just didn't know what to do. I thought about even like just kind of packing it up and just finding a whole new friend group because she hung out in the friend group that I was a part of. And he calmed me down. Basically, I summed it up to, I keep thinking about this girl and I feel like I'm gonna go crazy if I even think about her for another second. And he gives me some older guy advice and typical stuff of like, it's gonna pass and this happens and every guy goes through this. And you know, this applies to a lot of people. You know, if there's a guy or a girl that you're into, you know, you probably have had this happen to you before, right? But then there was this one part that stuck with me that he told me about. And he basically described it as, I know you have a red hot hunger, because he of course had gone through the same thing himself. At the same time, he had told me I had put so much pressure on myself. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm not talking about like work or school. He's like, you're putting pressure on yourself to make this work. You're basically sacrificing your mental sanity in order to try to make things work with this girl. And I realized he was right. And he told me about how people my age tend to put too much pressure on themselves, and they tend to put themselves in a situation that is overall worse for them, all in the hope that they'll gamble and hopefully come out better on the other side. In essence, he just told me that I needed to pump my brakes and that I needed to talk to other girls, and that maybe because I had been so busy, I hadn't been going out and talking to a whole lot of other people. Maybe just because I hung around this girl so often, that was the reason that I was thinking about her so much. And I remember I have this coworker, right, who overheard our conversation because funny enough, we were actually eating at the restaurant that I work at. So Brian, my coworker, not his real name, comes over and he reaffirms the same thing, that I was just driving myself crazy. And that while this girl was great, she was not the best possible girl I could date right now. I was essentially, for some of you who watch Hamza or just know self-improvement lingo, I was cashing out too early, and that I could find a girl who was a lot better. And that's the takeaway I got. And that's how I've realized that I had to stop putting pressure on myself to find a relationship and make it work, was that I feel like men at our age, we see all the shit going around us and we do a little bit better, we improve. And then as soon as good springs around the corner, we immediately want to cash out. We immediately want to be like, okay, this is my baseline, I'm good, I'm done. No, there is so much better possibilities for us. And to be honest, I walked away feeling better. This entire time thinking about this girl had felt like I had 315 on my back. And after talking to them, I had finally had it lifted off. And they told me as well that I am 20 years old and that I should be making mistakes and learning and not trying to get everything perfect on the first go. And while I know that I'm still going to be in the presence of this girl because we hang out with some other people, I think overall I feel better about my situation. I don't feel as depressed or anxious as I used to. The takeaway I want you to have right now is that if you have a crush, if there is someone in your life that you're thinking of, I know you can get over this, and I know you can go in the right direction. If you're watching content like this, you want to go in the right direction, and that's gonna take time, but slowly over, you're gonna heal, and you're gonna be a better person for it. Stay safe, stay smart, start taking accountability today. Peace.